Hey, Tubies! Woo! It's Psychic Bob. Well, look where we are. It's Sunday night. It's the witching hour, and we're trying to get it together. We're still having a little bit of technical difficulties with the show. Lady Angela cannot be with us because she's still having computer problems. We got 3 out of 4, so we're getting closer to a good show. But tonight we got a real treat for you. We got somebody special back. Lord Tony, you know you're excited about this as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's definitely nice to see her back.
That's right. And we got with us, ta-da, Lady Carol. Hi, Lady Carol.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad to be back with you guys.
We are glad to see you.
Oh.
Look at you in your new hat. Now tell me, you looking to be all styling and all.
Yeah, actually, I had bought this a while back and didn't get to wear it until now. It's a classic witch hat.
I think you look great. You look like you just walked out of Neiman Marcus. And you guys know I know all about Neiman Marcus. I hang out there half the time. Well, you be smiling.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the Baptist church days where the women would go in and compete to see who had the biggest hat on. I think I won.
I think you won. Isn't that great? Well, we are so glad to have Lady Carol back. For those of you who have been away, Lady Carol, not to bring up tragedy, but Lady Carol's husband passed a few weeks ago, and she's been away dealing with that. And Lady Carol, we so admire your bravery and coming back and being here today. It takes a lot of energy, I know.
Well, thank you for having me back, and I'm glad to be back. I missed you guys so much. But I do want to thank everyone that supported me during, the hardest part of my grief. And for those who are still supporting me even through it now. And I just, I'm grateful that I have such a big family that loves me so much as you guys do.
Well, you are loved. And for those of you new, Lady Carol's part of the Council of Elders. And for those of you new, we should probably introduce everybody. Lord Tony, why don't you introduce yourself for all the new people here?
Hi, my name's Tony, and I am a witching hour alcoholic.
But he does more than just drink on the job. He has some other important functions as well. Why don't you tell us about
only water on the job, Bob.
All right, there you go.
Right.
But vodka and water look the same in a bottle, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's true. I can color it. Anyway, I am the Lord Guardian of the Order, and I do what I can to keep everyone safe while we're doing our protection ritual, all of our rituals, by the way. I bring in the angels and other spirits that feel like coming in and helping us all out, and it's basically keeping everything running smooth. I watch the chat, I watch the websites, making sure that we can keep the riffraff out if we can. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'm just an all-around good old nice guy that helps. I'm also an angelic healer. Also, I didn't catch that, Carol.
Walks around with titanium.
That too. Got the titanium. It makes the show go by really quick when we don't want it to. Yeah, I'm also an angelic healer, and stop on my website. You'll find the description down at the bottom of the video here in the description link. So just check it out sometime.
Yes, definitely check out Lord Tony. We're going to have his links and all of our links below. And Lady Carol, for those of you who are new here, is also a member of the Council of Elders of the Order of the Purple Court. Lady Carol, why don't you tell us about your position and your work?
I am keeper of the sacred staff, and what I do is I use the sacred staff as a way to bond us together when we're at long distances. I use the energy of the earth and pull that energy together to help those people who may feel, disconnected from one another or just need somebody to, be there for them. I use the cosmos itself and try and bring us spiritually together.
I think that's beautiful, and you do a wonderful job. And people in the chat are all sending greetings to you, Lady Carol. They love you. And I just want to give a few shout outs here. Chilled Fox is here. Antoine LeVay is here. Hey, Antoine. Stardust is here. Gav Hines is here, all the way from London. Sin, hey, Cynthia. Sin 1982 is here. And Sin says, Lord Tony provides a wonderful healing service. I agree. Melanie Miller's here. Pam Mears is here. Jeff Cox is here. Kathy Private's here. And Kathy says she loves Carol's new red hat. I think it looks great too. And Steve Taylor's here. Yay. Oh my gosh, we have such a good thing. Love is here. Hi, dear. Good to see you. She says hi to all of us. And Love says, please accept my condolences. Love to you, Lady Carol. Isn't that sweet? Okay. And Christian Drew 1313 is here. Queen Nadine is here. Texas Treasure's here. Follower of the Old Ways is here. Yay. Matt Burns is here. I tell you, we got a lot of the old crew here and new people as well. We really welcome you. By the way, guys, we're all trying to be in our witchy attire. And, we're all wearing our purple cords. And for those of you who are new here, the Order of the Purple Cord is an online Wiccan coven that we all are the officers of. Lord Tony, Lady Carol, Lady Angela, and myself. And I'm the high priest of the order. Lady Angela is the high priestess. And we invite you, if you are looking for a Wiccan group and you want to connect with others, but our group is basically solitaries, people who don't maybe have access to a coven or don't connect with their local covens, but you want to be part of something bigger. That's what we do here, the Order of the Purple Cord. And it's free to join. And you can pop over to my website, www.psychicbob.com, and get information about that. We also have a Facebook page, which is Order of the Purple Cord, or is it The Order? Lady Carol, what is our Facebook? I'm blanking out.
Order of the Purple Cord.
Order of the Purple Cord. Okay, on Facebook. So definitely check us out. We're free to join. We only have a few requirements. One, if you want to join the order, please send myself or Lady Angela an email stating that you wish to join the order. You must also state in it that you will abide by the Wiccan Rede. What's the Wiccan Rede, Lord Tony?
We shall obey Bob and everything he says. No? Harm none, do as you will.
That's right. Harm none, do as you will. We are not a cult. I don't control anybody's life. See, Wicca gives us all that great spiritual freedom. We have a lot of fun. And the Order of the Purple Cord is a great gathering of like minds, And Lady Angela is the one who always says we're a group of like-minded people. And I think that's true. We share in a common love of the mystery of Wicca. So if you want to join our group, our Sunday show, The Witching Hour, is kind of like our meetup each week for the Order of the Purple Cord. Now, you don't have to be Order Purple Cord to join, but many of the members gather here on Sunday. And we're going to be doing rituals throughout the year. So, we're going to have more Sabbath rituals, and we're going to be doing them. What's our next Sabbath? Gosh, I don't have my Will of the Year in front of me. I'm just blanking out. I think it's May Bon, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if we're going to get, that may have to be next week because we're not ready for a ritual tonight. But we'll be probably, I think, next Sunday doing a May Bon ritual. Does that sound good with you guys? And what we'll do is before the ritual, we'll post the ritual online on our Facebook page, and you can download it or print it out so you will have a copy of the ritual. So we welcome all of you tonight. Those of you who are researching Wicca, we take questions here, and we're glad to answer any questions you have about Wicca. We got a panel of longtime practitioners. How long you guys been practicing Wicca? Lord Tony, you've been doing all right.
When was
I really have.
Oh, go ahead, Lord Tony.
Okay, whatever. I really don't even know. It's I probably pretty much started shortly after I got asked to join the order. Before that, I'd have to say I didn't know I was even practicing it. It's just something I did. And I didn't really put that much into it, other than knowing what this did and what that did and what my mom had taught me. But I really didn't know much about Wicca before this.
Yeah. See, Tony had a good fortune. Forgive me if I'm speaking wrong, Tony. But Tony grew up in a household that was very spiritually oriented, very open to pagan ideas and magical ideas. And so he kind of has been Wiccan, I would say, all his life. But I think since joining the order, I would say you really got your focus into it more. Wouldn't you, Lord Tony?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my mom was very open-minded, very spiritual. I'd still call her the kitchen witch. And she was making sure she started me with my rock collection, and told me that certain minerals have certain frequencies and certain feelings to them. And it was kind of different. And I'm goosebumping right now thinking about all this. Whereas my dad was very logical, and, so I was actually brought up being able to think for myself and, could tell the good from bad and be able to debunk things and, just, I can't really word it right. I'm sorry.
I get what you're saying. Yeah. It's, this is the thing I think, Lord, is that the craft, a lot of people, when we talk about spiritual paths, a lot of people think, like by our Western European tradition, we have to go out and seek a religion. But really, I think the craft seeks its followers. Like many of us have been called or had a sense of being called, sometimes all of our lives. I know that when I was a little kid, I would go out and climb the front tree in my yard. I had a big maple tree, and I would sit in the branches and wait for the moon to rise. And so I had a connection. I almost felt like the moon was calling me. Now, I was probably being a little bit of a Wiccan even then before I knew about it,
Mm-hmm.
But there's times in our lives where we suddenly get that clarity of like, what? This is actually something I need to follow, Lady Carol, tell us about you. How long have you been doing Wicca?
Pretty much since the day I was born.
I love it.
That was probably around the same time the universe was created. No, actually, I grew up in I want to say dual religious family. My mother was Catholic from New Orleans, and my dad was Baptist. But we followed Dad's traditional religion, and I kind of practiced a little bit of both the whole time. I didn't actually get introduced to Wicca until, about 23 years ago, and understood what I was doing. But I really have been more nature bound. I'm more of a kitchen witch than anything else. Of course, I do read tarot and things like that. But yeah, it's been a little over 23 years now. So it kind of makes me an elder in its own right. But yeah, it's just been something I've actually been doing my whole life. I've always had animal communication abilities and always been drawn to nature and, just been out there. I mean, animals were my best friends as a kid. So
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, both of you, because I think, I can remember when I was first starting out in the craft, hearing the experience of other people's journeys was really, really helpful to me. And, I started practicing Wiccan, it was 1999. I remember it because I remember thinking all those nines were magical to me. I suddenly saw things in a slightly different way. Now, I have been a spiritualist and a member of the Spiritualist Church for many years and practiced that for over, most of my life. But in terms of Wicca, I actually formally started studying it in 1999. And so we're at my 20-year anniversary in the craft. Wow. And I just look back and I said, have I really been doing it 20 years? But then, I opened my jewelry box and see all my Wiccan jewelry. I said, oh, yeah, I've been studying for 20 years. That's my one addiction is my Wiccan jewelry, you know. By the way, speaking of fashion, I'm wearing one of my new mystical pentagram shirts tonight. Isn't this cool? And this is so it's actually from Ceremonial Magic, and it's a pentacle to bind evil forces. But I liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. So, anyways, but you know, for those of you, you know, who are watching, you're saying, you know, could I be part of the craft? I don't know how to do it. You know, I would say to you, just start by reading. You know, get some books. You know, one of my favorite books is Scott Cunningham, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary. Actually, I don't have that one on my table here, but this is the second one called Living Wicca. And there's the author, Scott Cunningham. He has these two books, Wicca and then Living Wicca by Scott Cunningham. I highly recommend them. They helped me really find, you know, my way along the path when I was first starting out. And, you know, the wonderful thing is that, you know, one of the things that Scott Cunningham did is he broke down the mythology that you have to be part of a coven. Back in was it like the 1960s, 1970s, you could not call yourself a Wiccan unless you were formally initiate into a coven. And Scott Cunningham came along and changed all that and said, well, you know, there were witches of old who lived in the villages or at the edges of villages who were the hedge witches and the healers of their day. And they weren't part of covens. And you don't have to be. So, you know, a lot of us have been solitary. I've actually worked in a coven before, but I'll tell you, I found a lot of politics, at least in my local coven, that I wasn't feeling connected to. So I went back to being solitary. And, you know, the wonderful thing is that the Order of the Purple Cord allows you to still maintain your autonomy to do your practice. And yet, when you want to gather with witches, you have a place to go. Don't you think so, guys?
Oh yeah. I
Yep.
mean, with us, you know, it's even though we may practice solitary at home, we do have our unification, you know, and a lot of people don't have that. We can get on, talk to one another, and, you know, literally, you know, join up just like we're doing now and work magic, you know.
Absolutely. And for those of you who've been to our rituals, you know that there's some power flowing. Lord Tony has been our guardian throughout our rituals, and he's felt the power very clearly, haven't you, Lord Tony?
Oh yeah, yeah. It'll hit you if you're not expecting it. But yeah, I'm usually in their back, in the background. We're doing our big circle, and it's almost like I can picture everybody that's in the circle and participating, and I see that when I make sure the circle is connected and all the energy is going around. And yeah, it's weird sometimes. Sometimes it drains me. Sometimes it energizes me, and sometimes I'm literally like this at the whole end of everything. But, you know,
Well,
it's pretty cool.
I agree. You know, once we get that etheric circle going, you know what I think is really interesting, Lord Tony, is that when we do our group rituals, you know, we're creating an etheric circle that's reaching across the entire globe. You know? So we build some serious power. And I think it's really, you know, so many have written to me and said how much that the ritual circles have helped them and how much blessing they get from it. And I have to agree. I think we all get a lot of blessing, you know, when we gather. And so if you're new here and tuning in and you're feeling a little lost, you know, just hang with us, get to know us, you know, come to our ritual. I think next Sunday we're going to do a ritual. Guys, we'll convene later to discuss it, but I think we are, you know. Did you just want to say something, Lady Carol?
Oh, I was just gonna say when we do our etheric circle, and a lot of people I'm sure in chat will agree, we can literally feel the energy, you know, all across. I mean, I remember the last ritual, people were saying in chat, you know, they felt this energy just go through them, you know, almost like a bolt of lightning. And, I literally was, going through it even well after. It was almost a week where there was just so much energy and, so much, love that I could feel from just doing one ritual. And this is what I mean about the connection we have. You know, it does stay with you. It stays in the universe. And it's for everyone to use. So, that's one thing I do love about doing rituals with them.
I have to agree with you. We in our order, the Order of the Purple Core, we, Tony was saying earlier, we follow the Wiccan Rede, which is harm none, do as you will. So we believe that, everything we need to do needs to be done in love, Oh, look, we just got something in the chat here. John Olav Iverson Stenvik just sent us, I think that's Norwegian kroners, $20 or 20 kroners. Thank you so much, John Olav. I hope I'm saying your name properly. And is that Norwegian kroners? Forgive me, I don't know the thing, but I think it's Norwegian money. That's very kind of you. The donations that people send in our chat help keep us running. It helps us to buy the equipment we need to broadcast. And, we're going to be working on a number of things for the order in the coming months. We're almost ready with our membership manual. And Lady Angela has been helping me on that. We're doing some final edits. I think, we should probably, I'm going to say by, beginning of June, we should have that for you guys. So for the summer, you will have a new membership manual, and it'll be free. It'll be an online download. You can download it to your phone or computer and print it out if you want. And that manual is going to be something that's going to give you guidance. Now, it's not a holy book that you have to follow everything in it. It's going to be kind of, the history of the order, symbols and sacred symbols you might want to incorporate in your practice that represent the order. It's going to have the history of the color purple and the magical chords. It's going to have various spells. Each of the officers are writing parts about their work and little rituals to attune to, like, for example, Lady Carol manages the sacred staff. So she's writing a dialogue, which will be like a ritual that you can do, a meditative process at your altar every day to connect to that energy. And Lord Tony's working on a guardian ritual that you can do for protection. You see, so we're each trying to bring in something here, and be looking for that. Okay, hi Shadowlander. Shadowlander says he's currently doing some shadow work to do some spiritual. Oops, I just lost it. I think spiritual house cleaning. Hold on, let me go back here. To do some spiritual house cleaning during the waning moon before Beltane. Wonderful. Waning moon's a great time to break down negative energy. So I think that's wonderful. I encourage you to do that, definitely. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, I'm having a little trouble. My chat's freezing here.
Lady Angela's in the chat room.
Yay, Lady Angela. Sin 1982 says, Bob, my dog chewed my last pair of Puma slides when you were doing my reading. I told her that she's lucky I love I gotta say, this is so funny, Sin, that you say this, because animals get excited whenever there's a spiritual practice going on, whether it's a Wiccan ritual, whether it's a psychic reading or a card reading, divination. They know. And Lady Carol, you and I have talked about this, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
You
guys have been present. I mean, even when I'm in here doing the show, all of my little furry babies, they show up. My familiar, he's the first one in my lap. Like, hi, everybody. They make themselves known. But at the same time, they know what we're doing is very important. And they like to help. You know, a lot of people will get out of the room. I'm busy. You know, don't do that. They're there to help you.
Absolutely. We got a comment from G Dog, says he can't wait for the book. I think he's talking about the owner, the membership manual for the OPC. OPC, by the way, is the acronym for Order of the Purple Court, OPC. So if you hear us talk about the OPC, that's what we're talking about. Yes, G-Dog, we're really getting much closer now to having that completed. We're all very excited about it. And I think for those of you who are members, it will give you a better kind of connection to the order. And so every day when you go to your altar, you'll have something that's a part of our official liturgy. Is that the word I want to say? The liturgy of the order. So yeah, I'm so glad for that. Anyways, yeah. I'm just trying to read the chat here. Okay. Rail Gutter says Trump equals Jesus. Well, maybe. I don't know. We don't do politics here, by the way. You're welcome to be part of our show, but we're not getting into political discussions, okay? So, and Chilled Fox just said, Lady Carol said, that could explain why my cats get hyper and cuddly around me all the time. See?
Yeah.
They're picking up that energy, aren't they? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Cats especially, my God, they can actually see everything. And they're probably one of the most protective animals you can have in your home regarding the spirit world. Because I know most dogs they'll bark and growl, but if it comes towards them, they whimper and they run away, which is funny. Cats, I don't think are scared of anything. And I've had something happen in the house not that long ago that I worked on someone and something rushed me afterwards, and it's been in my house ever since, and I haven't figured out what it is yet. But I come down here in the basement, every night when I come home from work, and my cats literally surround me, and they stare towards the office or the laundry room, and they're watching something, but it doesn't get a chance to get near me, and it doesn't come upstairs, which is probably a good thing. But the cats come upstairs with me when I go back upstairs, so I don't know. I think I'm being guarded against something.
Well,
Oh yeah.
That's one of the reasons, especially in the, ancient Egypt, cats were, honored so highly because they not only protected the house from, rodents, they also protected the home from spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I have to throw in a comment here. Gav Hines said, is anyone sick of the sight of Easter eggs? My wardrobe is full of them. What family bought and our kids. Sick of opening the cupboard and chocolate eggs falling everywhere every time I open it. Gav, I wouldn't complain because if it's chocolate, it's got my vote.
Well,
if it's chocolate, it's probably not that bad, but those Cadbury eggs, no.
Those Cadbury eggs, I actually like them, but you can only eat one of them. They're so sweet. If you ate two, you'd have a sugar convulsion,
But you can always make one heck of a cup of cocoa.
That is true. My light has gone out, guys, so that's why I've got dim all of a sudden. My lights, studio light is blown out, so I'm on dim light. I hope you can see me.
It's Alfred. We know. He always messes with the light.
Spirit people do everything, Oh my gosh.
Well, I'll try to make you feel better, Bob. There.
Well, if we keep dimming the lights, we'll just go into a full seance here. Got witches gathered in a dark room.
No light going over here, so.
Oh, look, now we're all in the dark together. Look at that.
Ooh.
You look spooky there. That's cool looking. You got a good.
I have my star behind me, so I have no fear.
You know what? I have to look at that star up close, Lady Kira. I'm crazy about that star.
I actually put that together. It was a couple of Christmas ornaments, and I found some fairy lights and surrounded my star. And I'm actually planning on putting some more on to make it a little bit brighter.
Are the lights purple or white on it? I can't tell. It looks purple.
They're
What?
purple.
They are purple?
They
Okay.
are purple, yes.
The beautiful color of purple.
Yeah, I love it. You know, I use it on the tree for Yule, and I use it year round for the altar. So it has two purposes.
I think it's wonderful. Well, you know, the pentacle, in fact, you know, behind me, I hope you guys can see it, but I've got a pinnacles on my wall. And, you know, for those of you who are new to Wicca, and I think this is a good topic to discuss because I get a lot of letters on this. People sometimes see my videos or they might see Lady Carol and they'll say, oh my God, isn't that a devil symbol? It's not a devil symbol. This is the sacred symbol of the Wicca. Like the Christians have the cross, you know, the Wiccans have the pentacle, and it represents the four elements under the protection and blessing of spirit. And Lady Angela came up with a great description one time. She said, the pinnacle is like a person standing out in the wind and the rain with their arms open, their legs open, standing, looking to the heavens. And she said, have you ever called upon the ancient gods with your arms out like this? And she says, you become the living pentacle and the power flows through you. And I love to think about that. Lady Angela, I didn't say it as nicely as you said it, but that's what the symbol of the pinnacle is. It's nothing evil. It's a sign of blessing and protection, you know. Lord Tony, you got pinnacles in your house too, don't you?
Yeah, I actually have. I have the one on my ring right there.
Yeah.
And I have the one. Of course, you know, I got the one on my pendant. You know, the sword, pentacle sword. Doesn't look like it behind me, but on my my spirit shield, there's a pentacle on that too. So
that shield is way cool, you see. So the pinnacle is used by Wiccans all over the world, and it's a sign of blessing, a sign of protection. I'm wearing actually, well, y'all saw my shirt. That's a pinnacle, but I'm also wearing a little silver pinnacle as well. And some of you who are new to the craft may say, well, why do all the witches wear silver? Well, silver is considered a psychic color. It helps us to attune to the subtle energies. And it represents the moon and the moon goddess, doesn't it, Lady Carol?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because if you look at the moon, and a lot of people don't realize it has a silver color. You look at the sun, and it's golden. So that is why we have two separate colors. Gold for the god and silver for the goddess.
Absolutely. I think you said it perfectly. You know, as I work with, I'm a medium and I do channeling. I have to really be attuned to that inner energy and that flow that comes through me. And that's considered actually more of a goddess energy. So not that the god doesn't channel through people, but the subtle levels that I work at, I wear silver to enhance that vibration, I find in myself, and I'm curious, Lord Tony, if you've ever had this experience, but as a male, like when I want to go out and accomplish something in the material world, that's when I connect to gold. Like, but I'm doing psychic work, I connect to silver or spell work, like if I was like going to go out and, try to do a big fundraiser, I might wear gold jewelry that day. Or if I was going out to be part of a local, recreational park, cleanup, do something in the physical. That's how I relate to gold and silver. I don't know if anybody else thinks that's crazy, but do you ever have any sense like that, Tony? I don't know if you do or don't, but.
I really can't say. I always have like a reaction to like precious metals. So if I get anything that's silver, it has to be sterling silver, and even that will sometimes start to tarnish around my skin. And gold is kind of, I don't have much as gold of anything that's.
Gold's getting outrageously expensive nowadays. God.
Yeah. But I do remember one time I had like a dream message come in that it was just a series of numbers that came in, and it was 6668, and it was just still streaming across my eyes even as I opened them up. But it did say when I looked up the numbers, the meaning for it in the Hebrew Bible actually says to gleam or be golden. So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with this or not, but I said throw it out.
Oh, I like that. That's fascinating. Well, gold is definitely, it's a power color. But, you know, and I always say this is the thing, there are no hard rules about these things. These are traditions. And so if you say, well, say, Bob, I like gold better than silver, that's okay, you know. But also, like Lord Tony, you brought up about your physical reactions. Some people do have chemical reactions to certain metals, and they almost like burn them, or they're toxic, or, you know. And if you have that, don't wear some just because, well, I have to be a witch, I have to wear that. You don't have to. Find something that works for you. By the way, I want to jump in here. Gav just asked me, he said that he's planning on buying my book. This is a book, my book, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. And Gav, you have a good question. You said you live in the UK. Can you get this book? And what will be the shipping cost? Yes, let me tell you, Gav, this book, it's interesting. My publisher is international. And so if you're in Europe and you want to buy my book, order it through my bookstore, because at my website, because if you order it through that, what happens is my publisher will print them in England. They have presses all over the world, and it's more of a print on demand. So that way I don't have big stocks of books sitting around wasting space and using up resources. So Gavin, or anybody in Europe or outside the United States, don't look for a big shipping cost, because if you buy it in England, you'll pay your local shipping on this book. So you won't have to come up with a $50 or 50 pounds shipping fee. It'll be local postage. That's a good question, because I forget to tell people about that, because I've actually had other people say, well, I'll buy your book when I get enough money for the shipping internationally. And you know what? This will be local shipping. So there you go. You know, but yeah, this is my book, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom, and it's about my 20-year journey as a Wiccan, just my thoughts. It's got various chapters talking about projects in the craft, and we have a lot of art in it. This is a witch looking through his telescope at the moon, and I did all the artwork in the book, and it's a lot of fun. Here's a witch, saw the moon, decided to lay down, take a nap in a field. And see, Lady Carol, can you see the stang there?
Uh-huh.
See, yeah. I love stangs, by the way. Here's a witch. He's talking to his house plant that kind of grew giant. So he's trying to manage that.
Actually, that is a reality. People don't realize that. If you have a plant, try this experiment. Go buy 2 small plants. I know you've probably heard about it, and for those of you who haven't, try this experiment. Buy 2 small plants. Take one plant and, you know, almost abuse it and watch it wilt. Take the other plant and nurture it as much as you can. Talk to it, play music, watch that thing grow 10 times bigger. Plants have vibrations. Plants have energy. And they pick up on your energy. This is how we connect. This is why my position in the Order of the Purple Cord is very important. This is how we connect. So try that experiment and see what happens. I want to know the result.
I love that. I think y'all should do that, definitely. Thank you, Lady Carol. That's a great gift of wisdom for us.
Especially at the time of the year, because now it's time for planning.
Absolutely. I think you're right. You know, this is, you know, I've been thinking about this lately, and here we are at springtime. And, you know, I've been thinking about Lord Tony, especially. You know, Lord Tony, it seems
Really?
like where you live, you never get out of winter, you know?
Nope.
Is it still snow there? You still have snow around, or is it gone?
Actually, Minnesota just got snow a couple of days ago again, and it skipped us, which is good. It stayed in the low 50s here, but they're talking snow again tonight and tomorrow for northern Minnesota, which is going to get skipped. I'm getting skipped by it again, which is good. I'm tired of snow.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm telling you, here in the East Coast, it's actually starting to we're starting to have a spring this year, which sometimes we don't have. We go from winter straight into boiling summer, but we're actually having a spring. And I was thinking about you, Lord Tony. I thought, I wonder if Tony's going to get a spring this year. I hope he gets a little bit of a spring,
Well, you
Oh, yeah,
come down to Texas, we have a little bit of everybody.
I believe it. Texas is an interesting place as well, isn't it? Because it can be extremes there also. And you guys have to deal with well, if you're aren't you on the coast? You've got those hurricanes that blow in off the water, I think.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm further from the coast, so right now it's nice. It's like 80 degrees here.
Wow.
See? But we do have our times when we get those little upper wind gusts that kind of freeze us to death at night, but it's not as bad as Lord Tony. Nowhere close. We just get that. It's a little chilly, bring out a jacket, a light jacket or a sweater. When we get it really cold down here, we're, complaining and don't know how to act because, well, we're so used to it being hot up here. We have our temperatures rise up to 102, 104. Fortunately, right now, 80 is like comfortable.
Wow. What's a little cooler in DC? It's like about late 60s, like 67, 68. Lady Angela just said that it's just starting spring in Colorado. So yeah, Lady Angela, you've been getting a lot of snow too. So Kathy Private just invited all of us to come stay at her house in Florida.
I have family that lives down there, and I used to live down there for a while, and no, I'm not going to live down there again.
Not a tropical person. Wow.
No.
Well,
I don't mind the heat, but humidity, forget it.
I think it's interesting, when we talk about the craft, and this is something that all of you want to keep in mind when you're reading books about the craft. The original spells and rituals of the craft were written by Gerald Gardner, who lived in England. And so, when we talk about the quarters, why do we have the western quarter of the water? Okay, well, that was because in England, the west was the sea, the ocean. But if you're living in the middle of, the country in Kansas, the western quarter for you might be the desert, or somewhere, if you're not near the coast. So I always say, the quarters, like if you live in the middle of a landlocked country or landlocked state, and maybe it's in the north where you have a big giant lake that feeds the water to your town. Maybe that's going to be your element of water, the northern quarter, Do you guys, this is kind of controversial. Some people say, well, you can't change the quarters around, but I kind of think you can because I think it's related to nature and nature has to reflect the reality of your world. What do you guys think? I'm just curious what you think about that.
Well, my solution to that is get a compass.
Okay.
Because if you've ever worked with a compass, and it's actually a fun thing to do, get a compass or put an app on your phone like a compass and just walk with it and watch the directions change because the earth is constantly rotating. So it's going to alter that compass. This is what people don't understand. They think, well, I live here, the sun comes up in this direction and the moon goes in that direction, so it has to be true all around the world. That is not the case because the earth is constantly moving, so guess what? So does that compass. When you work with the elements, you have to kind of follow the same rule as that compass. You have to be able to shift with the motion of the earth. So, when Gardner wrote, the home aspect of the elements and using them in ritual. He also said have a little common sense with that too, because not everybody lives in the same direction. You know, if I said, okay, everybody, we're going to line up in the east, we're going to be like this. Because everybody's east, north, south, and west are different directions. So get a compass, try that test, along with planting the 2 plants. See how much fun you can have in witchcraft.
I like that, you know. You know why I like that, Lady Carol, is because really what you're saying is really be attuned, you know. I mean, it's easy to get, and you guys know this, we've all had it, where we get into, I call it living room Wicca, where we just go through the motions, but we're not really attuning to the energies. I know I've done rituals and I thought, gee, you know, I really didn't tune in like I should have. And I think what your experiment puts us back in touch with that true energy of the cosmos that's swirling around us that we're part of. That's very exciting. I like that idea. I'm going to work on that. You know?
And for the new people, it'll give them an experience that they haven't had, because when you're locked behind doors every day, and I mean, even if you're in your own yard, you're locked behind doors, you don't experience things anymore, or you become so electronically tuned, you forget what's really out there in nature. So those little things can help you find yourself again.
Hi, I got to interrupt here. Polani Amantiad says they're having to leave, but they send good night and greetings to all of us here. Thank you for joining us. We wish you could stay, but we appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. You know, this is the wonderful thing here, you know, and Lord Tony, I know you'll agree with me on this. It's like we really are a family here, you know, and it's nice that people come, and even if they can't stay the whole show, they just want to be here to let us know they're with us. I love that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always nice to have family visiting in here, and then she's lucky. She gets to spend most of her time in Hawaii. I don't know if she ever leaves Hawaii, but Hawaii's almost always nice.
Oh yeah, my brother lived in Hawaii for a while. He said he never wanted to come back. You know, I love it. I love it. Gav Hines, I missed part of your conversation, but it sounds like you ended up having a snowstorm inside of your house. I can believe that. You know, Gav, I have to tell you, one time I was staying somewhere and it was really hot in the room. It was, even though it was winter, it was, the heat would not great. It was at a hotel. And I opened the windows, and in the morning there was frost on the mirrors at the room. I like to sleep in a cold room, so sounds like you've had that experience as well. Anyways, Christine said it's in the 80s and 90s here in California. Oh, I'm ready to go out there. I like that. You know, but Lady Carol, to go back to what we were talking about, you know, I think you really hit on something really good for all of us tonight. That we want to kind of refresh our connection with the earth and with the energies of the quarters and the elementals. And I think, you know, as a Wiccan, we have to be very guarded that we don't fall into ritual by rote. You know what I mean? Where we're just doing it because we always do it. It's like, do you remember? I know you guys have had this experience. When you first got involved with the craft, I can remember my first experience of doing my first full moon ritual. And I actually lived in an apartment at the time where I had a whole front wall that was like a big sliding glass panel. And so I could open the drapes, and I was up high, and I would have the moon rise and flood my condo or my apartment with silver light. And I used to turn off all the lights. And the only lights I'd have would be some candles on the altar. And I would do rituals literally by moonlight. Even though I was inside, I was in an urban setting, so I couldn't do this outside. But I got the experience of watching the moon rise and come into my ritual. Do you remember that feeling of the first time you connected with that sort of energy?
the first time I believe I actually connected with that kind of energy was when I was a kid. What all of us kids used to do, we take blankets and lay them on the ground and look at the stars and the moon and just take in that energy. You know, it's not just stargazing. It was just, for me, it was a spiritual experience. But at the time, I didn't realize it was. It just calmed me so much. And I guess with my connection with nature, it just kind of led me down the path I'm in now. I was always there, I just didn't see it.
I think that's wonderful. You know, and that's interesting because I think back to when, like I was telling earlier, when I was a kid and I'd go climb the tree and watch the moon rise. And I remember my mother and father going, "What is he doing at night climbing a tree? He should be inside." They thought I was strange. I probably was. But I got a lot of blessing out of that.
Yeah, I think when we're kids, we're more connected than we realize. We slowly lose it as we become adults.
I think so. You know, Lord Tone, do you remember like having a powerful experience like with the elements, the moon or the sun or some sort of storm or anything that was part of your journey into the craft?
As far as the sun goes, burns. That was a powerful experience for me. But I love.
That's why I worship the Sun Lord. I never get a sunburn.
Yeah. No, as far as storms go, I love thunderstorms, and there's been one. I took a picture of the storm after I actually. It was funny because I looked outside and I knew it was a bad one coming towards us, and I actually said out loud, "You stay away." And I just had this weird urge to turn around with my phone and start snapping pictures. And up above was a dragon that formed. And I know some people are gonna be like, "Oh, that's just." I can't even remember the word for it. What do you call it? But if you looked at it, you'd see how the wings were spread, the neck was stretched out, the thing had horns, you could see the eyes, the snout, the mouth. And I actually put it on the Facebook page here just to show people, the picture. It even has a golden color hue to it, which I have a golden dragon as one of my adopted spirits. And
oh wow,
it's even the wallpaper on my phone right now because it's like I thought that was just one of the coolest pictures I had taken.
Isn't that fascinating? See, Lord Tony, I totally know that the spirit guides and the totems come and give us signs. And I think that's really cool. I love that. I live in a high rise, and where I live now, I'm way up high, like 15 stories high. And I can see a storm in the distance and the lightning in the distance before it even gets to us. And I love that. I get really excited about that. So I think that's really cool that you had a dragon manifest. Isn't that amazing? There are some.
I'll even post. I'll repost the picture so other people can see it. It was just cool. It's like I just had this feeling I needed to turn around and look up, and that's where I saw it forming.
I believe you, and I think it's fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing your picture. Absolutely. Sin 1982 says, "My friends and I used to climb a tree at school on all of our breaks." Oh, that's really cool. I don't know if kids today climb trees. I've heard they don't because there's too much paranoia and you can't let your kids go outside. I loved trees when I was a kid. I had a very intimate connection to trees. My father built me a little tree house in one of our maple trees in the backyard. And during the day, I'd go play in that one. But at night, I liked the front yard tree because I could see the moon rise. And I grew up climbing trees and sitting in trees. Maybe I'll go climb a tree now. I wonder if I can do that as an adult. What do you guys think? Should I climb?
I don't think that's recommended, Bob. You fall, you're gonna break something for sure.
You're right. As a kid, you just bounce, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, you bounce a little more than you do as an adult, but not.
Maybe I better not climb the tree. What do you think?
I think adults more or less just go thump.
Yeah, maybe we'll skip it, but I certainly think about it when I walk by some of these trees. But I'll just stick to hugging trees. I love to go out and hug a tree.
Yeah.
And that's something actually people should do because trees have a consciousness, and we can have an energy exchange with them. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, guys. Lord Tony, I got to tell you, you've got that titanium over there again. Do it. There it is. Lord Tony,
Yeah, I have it. It's right next to the tablet.
see, Lord Tony bends the time here. And Lord Tony, I wanted this hour to last so much longer. But you know what? Time is what it is. And
Yeah.
You can't just claim him tonight, Bob. It's kind of me too.
are you bending
Uh-oh.
the time?
I have some too.
Oh, look, Lady Carol got on. Was that titanium?
Yeah.
Lady Carol's got on titanium. Look out. All right. Well, y'all are bending time because it ends way too soon.
Well, we have to join together somehow, and well, he started it.
I believe it. Well,
Sorry.
guys,
Not sorry.
go ahead, Dave. You're sorry. Well, we love Lord Tim. We love Lady Carol. And we love Lady Angela. Lady Angela, thank you for being in the chat with us tonight. I'm sorry we couldn't get you all with the technical problems, but y'all got to have some time with Lady Angela too. But I want to just say thank you, Lady Carol, for being with us. We all are so happy to see you, and we are sending a lot of blessings to you. And know that we're with you, okay? Because I know you're still doing a lot of that cleansing and healing inner work, and that takes time. But we think you're very generous to spend your time with us today. We thank you.
Well, I want to thank you guys again for all your support. And I especially want to thank Lady Angela because whether she knew it or not, she helped me a lot. And a lot of my OPC family helped me so much. I mean, there's just no words to say thank you. If I could give a big universal hug, I would do that right now because
Well, we're receiving that on the ethers.
Well, I'm going to send you a big universal hug and a big universal kiss because you guys have no idea how you really helped our family.
Well, we're all a family here. We help each other. And it's just what we do. So we're glad you're with us. Well, guys, listen, we're going to wrap it up. And listen, as I was saying earlier, pop over to my website, www.psychicbob.com. You can pick up my books there. I have a number of books. For those of you particularly want Wiccan books, this one, Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom, is Wiccan focused, as well as Psychic Bob's Book of Spells. Now, if you like magic that I write and you're enjoying my spells, you can also pop over to Lady Angela's site, rarewiccaspells.com. And she has a whole category of Psychic Bob spells. So there are spells that you can buy over there that are not in this book. And they're special exclusives to Rare Wicca Spells. So pop over and see Lady Angela as well. But listen, if you want to get on my schedule for a private reading, give me a call. 703. Put this number on your cell phone. 703-825-3929. And give me a call. I still have some openings this week for private sessions. Private reading, you and me one-on-one for a full hour. And we'll cover everything. Past, present, future, spirit guides, messages from deceased loved ones, all of that and more. So definitely look me up. My links will be in the box below. Lord Tony is a gifted and powerful healer. Lord Tony, why don't you tell us about your healing?
I have angelic healing abilities. I ask the angels to help out for, we send healing energies to whoever wants them. And they work through me, and the healing goes to you. No matter where you are in the world, it'll reach you. Even if you don't tell me what the problem is and you want healing, it's going to come to you. I don't know what I can't do yet, other than maybe some exorcisms that don't work out, because I usually don't do those. So please stop asking me to do them. It's a weird feeling that I get with those sometimes, and not always agreeable. But the healings work great. I've never had a bad review yet, and all you got to do is try it out. It's by donations only. You can reach my website by either Googling Lightbringer's Angel, or visit the description in the box below the video. You'll find it there.
There you go. Definitely look up Lord Tony. He's wonderful, gifted healer, and he's helped all of us here. Lord Tony, thank you so much for being here tonight. You know, last few weeks we've all had such craziness, and I'm just glad we're at least partially together. And Lord Tony, I'm glad you're here. And Lady Carol, you also have I don't know if you're still active, your eBay store. Is that running right now?
Yes, I have an eBay store. It's Lady Carol's Wands and More. I actually have 3 wands up for sale right now. You can go check it out, and if you like them, hey, buy them. Lord knows I could use the money.
Absolutely. So, you know, let's all remember Lady Carol's store as well. She does beautiful woodwork, beautiful wands, beautiful artistic creations. And definitely look her up. I'm going to have her links below. Contact her if you have trouble finding it. I'll have her email, her links. Get in touch with her as well. Well, guys, we're going to close out, but I thank you for being here, and I send blessings to all of you. Listen, keep it here at Spirit Channel. Tomorrow is Monday, and what do we have on Monday? What's going on Monday?
Horoscope.
Yay, horoscopes. We're going to take a look at what is in the stars for you, so be back here tomorrow for that. By the way, we got to say it. We need your support here. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends, post it wherever you want. You have my permission. And we'd love you to be part of Spirit Channel. So if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe. Join my channel. Also hit the bell. And Lord Tony, you also have a YouTube channel. I need to put that in the info box. What is your YouTube channel?
My YouTube channel is the same as my chat name. It's Anthony Lightbringer.
There you go, Anthony Lightbringer. So go visit Lord Tony, subscribe to him. He's going to be putting out some more videos soon of his paranormal explorations, and you got to see it. Lord Tony has some amazing film footage that you don't want to miss. So definitely check him out. As I said, also make sure to visit Lady Angela. And if you guys have missed her being here like we've all missed her, go say hi to her at her website, rarewiccaspells.com. And anyways, we look forward to being back with you next Sunday for the Witching Hour. We'll see you then. Until then, may you all always
Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Everybody.
Bye.